Yo, what's up guys, Draconi here with another Dragon Ball Legends video. Today we're gonna look at the Tournament of Power mode, since they have done some, I would say, significant changes how this mode works. So yeah, I think if you're looking at this already, you can tell I'm in C. Last season I was in, I think, Z, but in C, so they changed. Basically, I think everyone is starting back at C, I think. And as you can see up here, we have now 2 rounds, which is therefore because you now can clear the Tournament of Power mode 2 times, and they will use the round where you got more points. So if you in round 1, for example, only get 100k of points, and then in the second round you get like 300k, the 300k one would be taken as your end result thing. So that's the first thing they changed. Now to the next bigger thing is, if you look at here, by the way, I've already cleared the tutorial mode, so in case you're wondering. Because if you're starting the Tournament of Power today, or as of today, you will get through a tutorial. But yeah, the next thing that they changed, which is pretty significant, is let's just look for example at this Goku. So if you look here, this is the standard status. This is normal units if you use them in PvP and everything. If you go in Tournament of Power, you notice that there only are 2 sides here. Usually here 3 with the abilities here last, but this here abilities are gone actually. So what this means is you don't have any unique abilities anymore, and you don't have Z abilities anymore. And why is this a big thing? Because which basically means is the only thing that matters are your stats, and you don't have to think about anymore about Z abilities. And this means you can throw a team, like for example you want to see here. Yamchu and Launch are from BB, they don't buff Sun Family or anything. But because Z abilities are gone now, you can throw the team like this with basically different units that usually don't work together. So yeah, that's one of the big things. So Z abilities are gone, unique abilities are gone. So we can look at the next thing, and that is line bonus. That's something new they added. At each row you are getting special abilities. So here at the front, every unit gets 10% extra damage card. At the second one you get 30% more damage and 20% more key recovery, and the last one is filling up 20% for special move faster. So that is the difference they made here. I think also what they changed is, if you look at this Goku and you look at his attack, you have here Strike and Blast to choice as usual, but notice that there's a 10. If you look at Launch, for example, in my case, he doesn't have that. And that is because of Arts Boosting. Arts Boosting now actually has an effect on your characters here in Tournament of Power. So this Goku here is max arts boosted, however this Launch is not, because I'm not using Launch in PvP or anything. So yeah, this has now an impact here. This is very important to note, that you now have arts boost affect your character's strength. So this is one of the also newer things. Next thing, if we look here and want to filter the characters, you can see that the whole tier boost is gone. We don't have the usual tier boost with Z, where units are Z, S, up to C like in PvP. This is now completely gone. What you now have is the option here at Tournament of Power Boost Character. You can sort this, and here is everything listed. of which characters are now boosted, and you can see here you get like things like 5%, 10%, and you see here for 10%, like for example here 10% there's a crown, and 5% it's just the arrow that goes upwards. Now if you go at the recommended characters, also here season rewards, it didn't change how much CC you would get as it seems. So you can still get up to 1000 CC. I think that's the biggest concern most people had, is how they're gonna change rewards. But here is written that these pickup characters get an extra boost for their stats at 5% here. And for this season it's these two new units, Sun Family DB and 40th anniversary from Dragonball. So that's one thing. And here we have extra thing for boost battle points, where every unit that's on these tags and or these characters get extra battle point boost. Same as the usual thing where we had like no Z tier, S tier. Now this is all gone and this is replaced by this. So you can clearly see at my team, everyone here is here from DB, Sun Family, or the 40th anniversary tag basically, so they get these bonuses. Now the equipment is the same, and yeah, I think this is basically everything new to the Tournament of Power mode. They didn't change much, I would say, but the things that they're changing are pretty significant here. So what is my thought about this now that we are seeing basically everything that they changed? If somebody, now obviously the positive thing here about this change is now everything is way more simple. Simply because you don't have to worry much more anymore about team building. As you can see, I just threw units around who have the highest boost and are kinda new. It doesn't matter if you don't need a whole Sun Family team, or you don't need necessarily a full GDK Universe Rap God Keep movies anymore. You don't need to look at the Z abilities anymore, so basically you can throw in characters that are good right now. Which obviously makes team building for everybody easier. You don't have to worry about bringing some old EX characters or old units to get higher boosts, at least in this season, because if it's sorted by tags every single time, you can use basically everybody. Now, when it comes to the negative points, I would say about this, and this is a more subjective thing than anything. I think most people are gonna look at this and be like, okay, we still get our CC, can use now units way easier, we have less to think about, this is all great. And I would say, if you're looking at this mode like this, it's obviously a good update. However, if you're gonna look at this mode and you're somebody who's like, okay, I like the concept of, okay, I have to think about what team I'm using, which units do I use, who's my supporting unit, who's my unit to heal, and also EX units having relevance, which this mode probably doesn't have that anymore, then this is, I would say, a big L. Because this mode basically has no thought process anymore whatsoever. The whole strategy thing about this team, like where you place the units, I mean, obviously you still have to think about a bit of where you place units. For example, okay, who do I want to get more defense? Who do I want to get more damage? You have to think about those things, but it's way more simplified. But with characters not having abilities anymore, you don't have to think about, okay, I need a healer on my team, I need a supporter on my team. Don't have that anymore. You can basically just throw in units like you want. You don't have to even to think about the tags anymore. So when it comes to having to think in this mode, it's a bit, I would say, less. Obviously the thing with not having any abilities also anymore is, again, as I said, you don't have a healing unit anymore. So what this means is obviously that these healing fields, which used to be like kind of now irrelevant because you want the highest um, bonus from fighting constantly. For example, they are up to, let's just see, how many battles are here? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 rounds in total in this mode. And you wanted the highest, I would say, win streak, I would say, from fighting the routes, going through the routes without healing or using the yellow path, which is not here, for example, but the yellow one was there for basically team changing and so on, and the green one was for healing. We usually wanted to avoid that to get the 25 battle streak in last seasons, for example, to get the maximum reward. Now probably the green fields will have more relevance because you don't have healing anymore, and you don't have like healing from abilities, healing from a healer in your team. You don't have that anymore, so they will give this probably more relevance now, depending how difficult these battles are gonna be in the future. I mean, so far you have only 1 and 2 star fights, so maybe this will be pretty easy this season. But I don't know how it's gonna be in future fights. But what's also important is, as you can see here, newer characters are getting the highest amount of boosts here. As you can see, the new Gohan and Goku have 20% battle point bonus, which is way higher than the other things here. So, in the sense of when it comes to pay to win, this is obviously gonna be a bigger, let's say, going more towards paying to win, because if you are someone who pays into the game and always gets new units and maybe even higher stars, you have it way easier to get high battle points. In the past, obviously new units also got like, I would say in around 8 tier in the first season they release, but comparing A to Z, this is nothing. Like on A, you had other units you could run. Now it's kind of the main thing where it's like, okay, if you're a new unit, you're obviously giving the most amount of points for a Tournament of Power. So I don't know how this is going to affect how well you can rank in Tournament of Power anymore because of this. Because if, for example, most people draw the new units and the paths are very easy, then therefore a lot of people will probably reach. Can I look at this season details like here around maybe in the 25%? Maybe it's a lot easier to get there because a lot of people have newer units and therefore get the highest amount of battle points. What I find also is a kind of, let's say, maybe a bit sad in this case for me personally. What the previous seasons had, like the boost system in terms of, okay, who's in Z, S, and to get more battle points, is that the best units there are mostly new EXs. Now, new EX characters in PvP are usually just the definition of unusable, not very good, you don't see them, you're not running them. It's also pretty difficult to get them higher stars, but in Tournament of Power they were pretty good. So for me, I always say when you get the new EX character, EX characters are Tournament of Power characters. So they have value there if you pull them. Now, looking at this and how basically only the tags matter and maybe if you're a new unit, I don't know if getting new EXs are even relevant at all at this point. Now it could be that because they don't have to spend much time anymore on abilities, that we're gonna get maybe better units general or better EX characters, but this is something only we can find in the future. And yeah, I think this is basically everything I'm gonna cover here. I don't think I missed anything. I think I talked about everything important here. I think the amount of power energy you get is still the same. You can see up here, up to 25 you're gonna get, so now you should start, I would say, before you reach 25 to at least clear this once, so that you get enough enough Tournament of Power points, like energy, so you can clear the second rounds, just to be aware of that. I don't know if they changed anything about the, friendship. I don't know if friendship is gonna affect this anymore. It's still the same. That's something I don't know. But yeah, I think I covered everything here about the new Tournament of Power changes. Let me know what you guys think about the new things in Tournament of Power. Do you think it's a good update? Do you think it's a bad update? Or are you more neutral to it? Tomorrow is the reveal for the Legends Fest Part 1. I'm probably gonna upload a reaction video, but it's gonna be kinda late because I have other things to do before. But hope you guys enjoyed this video and see you guys tomorrow.